So I've got André Truter here of Beierskloof Wines. Got a very famous dad, Beyers. Thanks for making the time. You're harvesting at the moment, so I know it's kind of busy. We told you about the dish, and you chose two wines. First of all, welcome and tell us about the wines.
No, it's a pleasure to be here, Ruben. I've got two pinotages for you, of course. Nothing else from Beierskloof because we focus on pinotage mainly. I've brought the Beierskloof Pinotage Reserve for you, and also the Beierskloof Diesel Pinotage for you. So you've got a nice pick. You can just decide which flavors you like more.
So which one we're going to start with?
I'll start off with the Beierskloof Pinotage Reserve. I think it might be not the lighter of the two, but a little bit less oak, bit more blackcurrant, light cedar oak coming through on that, on the nose especially. And on the mouthfeel, good balance, complexity and length. Generally like to enjoy it with every day or with most meals.
So this is quite it's not so unusual, but it's not, you don't taste beef cheeks every week, so it's quite an interesting cut, but more so I think the spices that we used in it.
No, I think hopefully it will complement each other well. Generally the rule of thumb I've heard a lot of the times is nice spice works well with the sweet fruit of the pinotage and goes well. The reserve, generally we look at the best blocks firstly. Then it goes into oak barrels for about 18 months, which is quite long for pinotage. But the area where we get our pinotage is full and rich, so it works well together.
Through your dad and also now at Beierskloof, you really champion pinotage. You've really sort of kept going with it, produced some of the country's best pinotages so far. What has been the response in the rest of the world, for example? I know, a lot of South Africans love it. What about the rest of the world?
Yeah, unfortunately, the rest of the world, it's still, we're still trying to get the message through. We've got the Pinotage Association, which is really trying hard. It started in 1995. My dad is also obviously the chairman of the Pinotage Association. But in certain areas, Europe, it's really increasing, especially places like Belgium, that's food and wine pairing is quite big. And people, the Germans is picking up really quickly on it because I think we have a lot of German influence in South Africa these days. They come for 3 months, stay over and just go through the wine routes and drink a lot of wine, and they're starting to prefer pinotage. So it's definitely growing in those two countries.
The other one that you brought, which one is that?
I brought the diesel pinotage. Now, firstly,
where does that name come from?
Firstly, hopefully you won't taste diesel in the wine. And no, the name comes from our dog, Diesel, that he passed away in 2000.
Can I see the label?
Yeah, you can. That's a photo of him. He always laid, his legs was across.
What dog was it? What type of dog?
It was a Great Dane Boerboel cross. So he weighed about 95 kilograms. And
how old was he?
He was 11 years old, which is quite old for those type of dogs. But in 2008, we decided we want to make a super premium pinotage. And we were struggling for a name. A shame Diesel passed away at that stage, and he had such an influence on the farm. He was sort of our ripening indicator. He will go into the grape or into the vineyards, taste grapes, spit it out if it's sour. As soon as it starts to sweeten, he'll start swallowing it, and then we know we can literally start harvest. And he kept all the bank managers and the lawyers away at least. So it's a tough nut to crack.
So this one is your flagship?
That's our flagship. We select only the best 20 barrels out of the whole pinotage range. Beyers, myself, 2 other winemakers will go through, and we usually settle with 50. Then we do a small tasting, bring it down to 20. It takes us about 2 or 3 months to get to the final blend, because as you know, 20 barrels, you put it together, it might be the 20 best, but together they don't work well. So you go back again and chop and change, and in the end result you sit with the diesel pinotage, which is this great, lovely dark fruits with Intense oak, personally, oak still showing a little bit intense, but it's going to develop really nicely with time.
So let's talk about Beierskloof and the farm. I mean, I know you've got a restaurant there. Do you make other cultivars as well?
Yes,
other wines?
We try to. I mean, our main focus, and it sounds silly, is Pinotage. If you look at the 10 wines in our range, 8 of them have got Pinotage somehow involved in it. The only wines that doesn't have Pinotage is 2 Bordeaux blends. One just a plain Cab Merlot, and then the other one we called field blend because the blend is literally made in the field. But the interesting thing that we do with Pinotage, we make a Pinotage port. We also do Pinotage Rosé and then a Chenin Blanc Pinotage white blend.
Wow.
Which
That's
sounds
different.
a bit crazy, but
so
yeah.
you have it chilled?
Chilled, we take the juice off the skins immediately and ferment it like a white wine, a Pinotage, and then just get good Chenin Blanc from the Swartland area.
I've never tasted that. I'd love to try that at some stage.
No, definitely. You must come and visit.
And what about you? I mean, you've sort of like now taken over from your dad. Is he still very much involved, or are you the new boss?
Yeah, semi. We I started, the 2004 I worked a little bit there for my diploma year, but 2006 I started, and 2007 I became a winemaker there. And luckily my dad is very nice of that side. He moved out, so the cellar part I run, but tasting part is still very involved. Things like diesel. I mean, he's probably got one of the best red wine palates in South Africa. If not the world, and I don't want to brag about it.
So Andre, have a bite.
Oh,
tell me what you think. So it's quite an interesting dish. So there's a bit of cocoa in there, some spices, tomato and pepper as a juice, and then you slowly cook it down. Towards the end we add a little bit of acidity with lime juice and vinegar. And this is a little sauce that we've sort of like made smoky by just dry grilling the vegetables, onions, garlic, peppers, chili. So there's quite a lot of stuff going on. And then obviously the salsa just to break all those flavors and bring it all together. But I think it's all beautiful flavors that's almost perfect for Pinotage, isn't it?
No, definitely. I enjoyed it a lot. It's like an explosion in your mouth. And then you just need that Pinotage, again, the sweet fruits to just come and finish it at the end. You've got a tough choice because I just tasted both and we'll see see which one you pick.
No, look, I think for a dish like this, your Pinotage Reserve is great. But I can just as well have preferred the diesel Pinotage. This one I can enjoy on its own with a lot of other dishes. But you know, a dish like this, I actually prefer the Reserve. What do you think?
I actually agree with you. I think it, although it's a nice and rich dish, there's also a nice light feel to it. I might be
yes, you're right.
wrong, but I think the Reserve then goes well with the diesel. Maybe because of the oak and the bit of chariness, they will go with something else. Definitely.
Look, I mean, I think we're still going to enjoy some of the diesel now.
Yeah, we've got a bottle, and we actually have 2 nice full bottles left.
Excellent, that's great. Listen, thanks. I know you guys are busy, and thanks for coming out. And it's been great to meet you and to have a chat around, you know, what you guys get up to on the farm. And you must say hi to your dad for me, and good luck with the harvest. And cheers.
A pleasure. Cheers.
I'll come and visit you on the farm soon,
for
sometime.
Sure. Thanks, Ruben.